We are back with episode 2 of The Good, the Bad, and the Tanner. Thank you all for tuning in. My first episode got a total of 20 viewers. I would say about 10 of those were me rewatching the video 100 times. So shout out to the other 10 people that watched. I do appreciate it. If you didn't, I don't understand how you found the second episode, but I'm so glad you're here. So on this, I like to talk about 3 movies that I watched this week. The Good, the Bad, and The Tanner is the movie that's just been on my brain and I've been thinking about it the most and want to talk about it the most. So my good movie of this week is This Thing On, directed by Bradley Cooper, starring Will Arnett. All of Bradley Cooper's movies feel very personal, from A Star is Born to Maestro. He's kind of hitting it out the park as a director that wants to really wants his audience to really feel what his characters are experiencing. I think Will Arnett does a really good job as someone who would get on a stand-up stage for the very first time and bomb and then kind of slowly improve, and they don't just throw him out there like he's doing a fantastic job. They let him know that he is bad, and I think that's really great. It's not really trying to be the funniest movie in the world. It's more about the message within the movie. Scene at the end with Will Arnett on stage to like a ghost room and just kind of losing it is really, I think, the best scene in the movie. I'm trying to go see it in theaters, but I never could. It was just never the right time or at a reasonable time, other than like a random 11 o'clock showing on a Tuesday. I just couldn't make that. But I am glad I finally got around to it. But once you see this on streaming, I would highly check it out. Okay, my bad of this week. Now, last week, my bad wasn't that bad, I said. This week, it's pretty bad. The movie I watched was My Bloody Valentine. I do believe this is not the same as the original. There are two. This is the 2009 3D version. And let me just say, 3D doesn't hold up after you leave that theater in 2009. Now, if you're watching Avatar, The Way of Water, or Fire and Ash now, James Cameron, he makes it work for a pleasant viewing experience at home. This movie does not. If I had to really say much, it would be like it's I Know What You Did Last Summer mixed with like Fight Club in a way. I know that sounds insane, but trust me, I didn't hate it. I gave it 2 stars. I just thought that it was poor. That's what I had to consider, and the 3D elements just made it absolutely terrible when those would pop up on screen. I wouldn't say I was ever scared really watching it. I was more just invested with these characters and seeing what happened, which is sometimes good in my opinion for a slasher. I mean, I watch slashers because I know they're not the scariest. Sometimes they're more gory, and this one definitely has a taste of some serious kills and violence to them. Okay, it's raining. I don't know if my mic's gonna pick that up. I hope not. There's like a winter storm, so we'll see what happens. But if you're like a hardcore slasher fan and just trying to find some of the most niche movies out there, definitely give it a shot. If you could care less, you're probably not missing out. And now for the Tanner this week. Now this is going to shock some people. However, I think this movie is an absolute comedic masterpiece in a way. It's absolutely hilarious. I laugh every time I watch it. It's been at least 6 years since I'd last seen it, and I absolutely think it's Kevin Hart's one of his best performances. But that is The Wedding Ringer. I think Josh Gad is operating on all cylinders. I'm starting just to become a bigger and bigger fan of him the more movies I see him in. I watched 21 this week that he was in. Completely forgot about that. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about The Wedding Ringer. This movie has everything: a ridiculous plot that's funny. The idea of my sister just got married last weekend, so I think that's why I was in the mood for a wedding movie. And yeah, this one hits on all cylinders. Times in this movie where it becomes good and it feels almost like an accident, but it has over time just become funnier and funnier since they've made it. Now, I don't think this is a no, I do think this is a good. I wouldn't say this is a like good movie. I don't think it has the highest ratings on anything, but I do think it's the perfect like Saturday morning movie, which is what I watched it as. And my girlfriend was intrigued, and she started watching it and laughing, and had to see how it ended. So that's always a positive. But I just think it's an absolute underrated comedy that a lot of people hate on. Me personally, I love it, and like I said, I do think it's one of Kevin Hart's best performances. It was during his like peak movie era run, and like I said, him and Josh Gad are just the perfect combination. This week, I think I kept it a little tighter, which I appreciate. I tried not to ramble off too much and turn this into like a podcast because it's not. It's not a podcast. But to recap, my good this week was Is This Thing On? My bad this week is My Bloody Valentine. And yes, it's bad. And the Tanner of this week is The Wedding Ringer, which again, I think is a comedic masterpiece. And you should probably watch it if you haven't seen it in the last 5 years. You will laugh. You can tell me what you think. You can comment down below. I will read every single comment. Every time they pop up on my phone, I immediately run to them. Do you think My Bloody Valentine is a good movie? I would question your decisions there. And do you think The Wedding Ringer is really overhated? Because in my opinion, it is. It should get more praise. I'll be back next week with 3 movies. Maybe I can get this uploaded on Sunday morning like I want instead of Sunday night or even Monday morning. I don't know when this is going to get uploaded, but we will see. I was going to do it last night and then upload it, but me and the boys started playing Arc Raiders, and let's just say things got crazy. Things got crazy. 2 a.m. crazy. But yeah, until then, I'll see you next week.